Hey, I'm John Devage with Our Revolution, Colorado Springs. With me today is Susan Crutchfield, who is a candidate for House District 20. Just recently had a primary June 30th. So first off, yeah, again, I thought it was a really good race, and I
Thank you.
really think that it's one of those examples where both candidates were really great. And it's just really always exciting to see like two really good progressive candidates running. And I think I just was kind of interested in your take, considering like you just ran for office, like how you felt that experience was, as well as like kind of your plans moving forward.
Yeah, so the experience was interesting, getting hit with COVID to say the least. So, I've done campaign work before and I pretty much knew how to run a good, strong ground campaign. And then that kind of got taken away. So I did have one to adjust, try different things that would work. I tried out Facebook advertising, targeting. So that was an experience. And it was difficult for me to run against the candidate who was also very great. and
Yeah.
I ran a positive campaign. I didn't want to say anything negative, and I respect her very much. And I have actually taken on the responsibility of so I will be organizing the precincts and putting my
Yeah, I think that's really like something that I thought was really critical too. Learning about like the importance of precinct organizers and really, I mean, I think that's people always ask about like as a progressive, how can we shape the party, right? Like what can we do
yeah,
or what can I do as an individual other than vote? Say I want to be more involved. And I think being a PO, a precinct organizer in your area is vitally important because you shape the party. I mean, not only do you organize to win, elect other progressive candidates, hopefully running in your area, you also vote on, uh, you know, leadership positions in the future. So you get to elect those leadership roles that go and represent county Democratic parties or and beyond. So it's really like from a ground up. I always felt like being a precinct organizer is the clear way to change the party and try
yeah.
to implement change that as progressives we feel we need.
Yeah, it's basically, other than individual voters, it's the most ground level of organization, I guess, is the precincts. And so, you break it down like just the House district. There's what 5 or 6 House districts in the Springs, and then you break it down into the precincts, and there's 35 precincts. And then you have the individual voters. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to learning more about all of that. Everybody who's a precinct organizer and finding organizers for the ones that don't have one yet. And it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Something to keep me busy at the very least. Oh, and I'm
Yeah, I
also
mean,
for the next 9 days, the next 9 days, I'm circulating the fair tax petition. So if anyone would like to sign it, please let me know, and I can bring it around. Sorry, just a second. I can bring it around this weekend to anybody's house, or I thought about doing like in a over at Ute Valley Park or something like that, but with COVID cases going back up, I just didn't feel comfortable. So, but I would bring it around to individual people. So if you know anybody who wants to sign it, let me know and I'll bring it around.
yeah, I mean, it's actually been something I've been meaning to say. I know, I think at our Revolution office in Colorado Springs, Anthony's working on that too, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I'd love to sign it, so you can sign me up for sure.
Okay, yeah, just
Um,
message me when would be a good day and time, and I'll bring it by.
because because that's ultimately like there's a so the fair tax initiative. It's basically like a more like a progressive income tax, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, everybody over 250,000 annual income would see a modest increase in taxes to, help fill the hole in the budget and help pay for things that we all need. And I think it's a great idea.
And does it like scale up to with like it's not like just a flat tax, is it, or
No, I
is it
don't
like a
think so. No, it scales up, but it only starts at 250,000. And I think that that's a really important point to push, because most people who you would be asking to sign it are probably not making over 250,000. So, you know,
Yeah,
for most people, it would not change anything.
yeah, that's what I never really understand is like there's always pushback about like, you know, raising the income tax. It's never going to be raised, or very rarely would it be raised on people that are so, you know, are, I would say, like the working class. 250,000 is quite a bit of money. It's a lot more than you know, me and my fiance make, and we're both professional engineers. So I mean, yeah, it's quite a lot. So yeah, I think it's important too to. I'm curious, like, you know, there are going to be probably other positions coming up. I know, like city council and other local
Mhm.
positions. Are you looking for the future or anything like that?
Yeah, so I have been looking, and SD9 actually is very similar to HD20, and it's going to be up in 2 years. So I think that for now, I'm going to look at the demographics of that and see what I can do, because you know, since Meg already took HD20 for this time, I'll wait until she's done completely. You know, I'll see what happens. If she, you know, if she wins, then awesome, and then I would definitely go for a different seat. I'm not going to challenge her as an incumbent for sure. And you know, if she doesn't win in November and she decides she doesn't want to run again, then I would consider it in 2022. But I would ask her first. So that's basically where I stand. I'm looking at SD9 right now, and it's encouraging to me because it's very similar to HD20. We have a lot of independents and unaffiliated voters, so you know, it's just a matter of getting them to understand, you know, the way of thinking that will solve problems rather than,
Yeah.
you know, dogma and, you know, whatever regurgitation that they might be hearing on, you know, the news or their social media or whatever. Because when most people really sit down and think about it, you know, they realize that there are things that they want for the government to do, and there are things that they want the government not to do. And they realize that that takes money, and that we should just spend our money in the most efficient way because it's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's, you know, making sure that the money goes to helping like the working class. I mean, I think that was something that's been up for debate is the impacts of the, you know, the care package, and you know, how much of that actually went to, you know, everyday people versus corporations and special interests,
Yeah.
and even like, you know, and just even thinking about the COVID situation in general as well, like just how much money the insurance companies have made over
Yeah,
the
and even the
last.
small businesses, you know, they had businesses that were much larger, you know, taking a large cut, and not only that, but the banks processing the loans. Okay, just a minute. The banks processing the loans, sorry, got fees. You know, taxpayer dollars went to pay bank fees for these small business loans for businesses that weren't really that small. Hi, sweetie. I hear
Yeah.
that you're hungry, and I'm gonna get you a snack. Okay, wait a few minutes, please, or go tell Daddy. I know. I see I'm on camera. Do you see you're on camera? Yeah. Okay, go with Dad. Go with Dad and get a snack. Sorry.
No problem. Yeah. No, it's always good. It's like definitely not as cute, but it's like when my cat walks on my chest and stuff too. There's always distractions. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think, you know, honestly, I mean, is there anything else you want to say, or kind of close with? I just think it
Um,
was just really important, especially as we had, like, you know, we had, I think, two really good candidates, and it was one of those things where, I mean, like, as you know, like our revolution, Colorado Springs did not endorse one candidate or the other because we couldn't decide honestly what candidate was worthy of that. In the sense, like both were just really good. So
thank you.
when it's, and that's always like, again, that's a good situation. That's a situation we like to see. So
Yeah. Well,
um,
Meg and I actually got really good turnout. When Kent ran 2 years ago, he got 5,000 votes in the primary, and together Meg and I pulled in a little over 9,000. And so, but Terry got the same as in 2018. So we basically doubled the Democrat side, and she stayed the same. So we'll see what happens in November. I mean, I think it's encouraging. And, you know, I know there is a population increase and, you know, yada, yada, more people might be voting because there's a really hot political climate right now. But I think it was helpful for us both to run. We both made different contacts, and I think we drew voters because we got two candidates in the primary. We'll see if
Yeah,
it affects the
yeah,
general.
yeah. I was really impressed too with the overall turnout, especially like just a lot of races. You know, there was obviously it's no surprise that we live in a pretty red area, but overall, even in a lot of primaries, the number of Democrat that vote were pretty darn close to the number of Republicans. So
Yeah,
that again, that's extremely encouraging, and I really uh, am optimistic again because there's just a lot of good candidates running
yeah,
this
for
time.
sure.
I mean, there's
So
been good
I'm
candidates in the
helping a
past as
couple
well.
of them too. I'm helping Jillian and Stephanie and Ken because I think that those are some of the, well, Ken and Jillian are some of the biggest races, like as far as district size. And Stephanie's looks really winnable, and Andy Pico already has kind of a love-hate relationship with a lot of people, and Stephanie's pretty great. So if you're going to plug any other candidates, Ken and Stephanie have very winnable races, and they're both awesome. And of course, Jillian, because we need Doug Lamborn out like years ago.
Yeah, I can't get enough. That can't be said enough, especially with the garbage he's been saying in the COVID
Yes.
crisis. So
Mind numbing.
anyway, yeah, mind numbing. I mean, it's like everything about this, especially in the last like 2 weeks with all of these debates about like schools reopening. It's just completely mind-boggling. Just like
It
how
is.
certain media organizations are almost encouraging their demographics and their constituents to go out and get sick almost. I mean, that we're mad. It's insane.
It really
And that's the
is.
kind of thing that I think, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an eye opener for what this country needs to work on
Yeah.
in several
Well,
wars.
when Kellyanne Conway said that they all believed in alternate facts, kind of could see this coming, like this massive disconnect with reality. Like they're just living in an alternate universe, I guess, because in my universe, masks help and I wear them everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
getting my
it's just
picture.
like the number, just again, like I thought for sure, just based off of the number of deaths, that would make a difference. But apparently, alternate facts trump everything
Oh, what they're doing
always.
now is really sad. They're reducing them to percentages. So they're taking like 1,600 deaths in Colorado and saying, oh, but that's only 0.0028% of Colorado, and 1,600 people sounds so much more significant than 0.0028% of people. I mean, it's dehumanizing, and
Yeah, I
I
mean, it
just
was
saw it
early
today.
on.
I'm still in shock.
Yeah, early on, I mean, people were talking about, oh, COVID, like it only has like a mortality rate of like 1%. It's like, well, that's like like if it's 1% and everyone gets it, that's 3 million people, and
Yeah,
that's let's say half people get that's still 1.5 million people.
yeah,
That's still like obviously like insane. That's how many 9/11s and what did we go through to with that debacle, right? Like we
yeah.
started and we basically um, just like basically cause chaos in a region of the world, a very large region of the world, killing thousands, if not millions of people there. But apparently, a few 100,000 Americans dying is just that's fine as
People
long as it
die
doesn't
every
to
day,
reopening and
right?
schools reopen.
That's what
Yeah,
they say. People
yeah,
die of all kinds of stuff. Oh, and it's probably not even COVID. I mean, they probably died in a car accident and they got marked as COVID for extra money because they're all in on this big conspiracy. The whole world is in on
yeah, yeah. The whole world's laughing at. All right, I'm probably also like feeling very, very sorry for people who do want to try to make a difference in this country. So,
it. Yeah.
but
Well, hopefully this will help us solve some problems. We'll not be able to deny reality for too much longer, and we'll all start wearing masks, and then we can put this in the rearview mirror like most other countries.
yeah, yeah, that would be ideal. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity to show a lot of the problems in this country and a lot of the things that need to be addressed. So that's the silver lining, I guess.
Yeah. If
But
there's a silver lining
anyway,
to the pandemic, it's that.
yeah, it's you gotta always look on the bright side sometimes. But even though it's getting harder and harder, it's gonna get harder and harder as we get closer to the election too.
Yeah,
Um,
we just gotta
yeah,
hang in there, keep fighting, because this is the kind of fight you can't give up in.
yeah. That's exactly right. 100% agree with that. So again, and I want to thank you for all the work you've done, and I
Thanks.
really look forward to seeing your participation in the local party, and then hopefully in other races as well. So
Yeah, for sure.
just want to thank you for running. So anything else you want to close with? Otherwise, I think that about
Yeah, no,
covers all I had.
that was all I had, and I want to thank everybody who's watching for their support and for my campaign, and we'll be giving you a call next time.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.